Alberta seceding from Canada is nothing new and has been a big issue since the 1980s. Quebec has almost pulled out of Canada off and on since the referendum vote in 1980. This is nothing new. In a lot of ways, I do not blame the Alberta Separatists for wanting to leave Canada, and here's why. They feel overtaxed, overregulated when it comes to business, and totally alienated from Ottawa or from the rest of Canada. It is a very, very big problem. It's also a big problem when your entire economy is a lot different from the rest of your nation, and it is dependent heavily on oil, natural gas, and basically lumber. Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, needs to start talking to these people more and opening up more dialogue with these people. If I were him, I'd be camping out there to make sure these people do not leave Canada or do not come close to leaving your nation. In a lot of ways, Alberta is the more Protestant or the Western Canadian version of Quebec. There's a lot of similarities to what is happening. They are both right-wing conservative areas when you look at statistics. They're really the Western Canadian version of Quebec. If you're very interested in this issue, Alberta separatism or the Alberta separatist issue, I would encourage you to watch the rest of this video. It is an important issue for all of North America. As an American, I am very concerned about this issue. So here we go. This whole scenario reminds me of the old CW TV show on the CW quite a few years ago called Republic of Sarah. I was a big fan of the show. In my view, it was a great show. It's been off the air now for a few years. In the fictional plot, a liberal political activist from the American Northeast breaks off from the United States and starts her own country. One way of looking at it is she got a county, one county in the U.S., to break off from the United States and start her own government with a currency. I believe it was in the state of New Hampshire in the show. I don't remember exactly, but that's more or less what happened. Her and her friends or these other liberal or libertarian activists didn't like the policies of America and thus DC, so thus they decided to get out of the United States. That's exactly what this scenario in Canada reminds me a lot of. It also reminds me a little bit, or to a certain degree, of the famous Peter Sellers dark comedy from the early 1960s in America called The Mouse That Roared. It was a famous political satire by the great actor Peter Sellers. He was in the film. In this fictional plot, an obscure tiny nation that was basically an oligarchy starts a war with the United States so their oligarchy can stay in power and continue to make all kinds of money in this situation off of a fraudulent war with the U.S. where few get killed and few even knew about the war. Funny movie, but this is no laughing matter. I'm a big fan of Peter Sellers. I think he might be the greatest actor of all time, but this is no laughing matter politically for the U.S. or for Canada. I'm not a fan of this as an American. I don't want to see North America get fragmented or merge into a mega state. This is being overlooked. People need to look at this. They need to pay attention. Have the separatists figured out a currency, social security system, a military, or border patrol if they start their own nation? If these people have professional ethics, they better start looking at these issues. I have seen none of these issues, to name a few, ever even debated in the mass Canadian news as of late. It's really tough to start your own country. Some pundits in Canada think this is actually unconstitutional according to Canada's federal constitution. they are probably correct. If I were Mark Carney, I would be camping out there and talking with this movement. This is a very important issue and he needs to pay attention. He needs to go there. He needs to have town halls. He needs to talk to these people. The policies need to change. They are bringing up very good points about some economic things, namely over taxation. Many of that exists even in the United States, in my opinion. He needs to go there. He needs to talk to them. He could probably learn a lot from the career of Pierre Trudeau. He needs to do this. Discussion can go a long way in politics. Thanks a lot for your time again this week. Thank you for your commitment to my channel. I will see you again next week with more exciting content. I will return. I will see you next week. It's free to subscribe.